All right, it is Thursday, March 26th, 2015 in Santa Barbara, California, where I'm coming to you from. And I'm not sure what day or time that makes it for you. I imagine we have a window. It could be sometime on Thursday. It might be even on Friday. Wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for being here. We're going to talk about making this spring an amazing one. And I have some ideas I want to share with you, some concepts, some tips, some tricks, all those things. And then as always, at the end, we'll have a Q&A time. The way these work, if you have not been here before, generally I'll talk for probably about 20 minutes or so, 20 to 25 minutes on the night's topic. And then after that, we'll open it up to Q&A. During the Q&A section, you can ask whatever you want to ask. You can ask me stuff about what we talked about tonight. You can ask stuff not related to this, but some other question. I'm pretty open with it. I just ask that you're respectful of all the audience members and you're not asking anything, I don't even know what the thing is, anything offensive, which I don't think we've really had that problem. I think in all the chats we've done so far, we've maybe had one question that was completely inappropriate, and I didn't answer because of its inappropriateness, which means I have a pretty broad range, okay? So with that being said, what I ask you guys to do is, and there's a little bit of a delay for those of you jumping on, there's probably about a 30-second delay. I will talk, and then if you can hold your questions until the end, that really helps me out because I have this chat screen over on the side, I can get distracted. So hold your questions at the end. I encourage you all to take notes so that way if something pops up, you think, oh, I want to ask that later. You're writing it down, and then you're able to ask it, or I may answer it as I go along. Okay? So big ideas to create an awesome or amazing spring. Whatever it is, you have some big ideas to create an amazing spring. And some of these big ideas aren't really big concepts. It's just the implementation of them and what they can do to your life and the quality of life they can create for you can be beyond big. It can be gargantuan, gigantic, huge, astronomical. Okay, you fill in the adjective that you want to use, and that's what these ideas can do for you. And if you use all of them or some of them, I think you'll be able to see a pretty quick shift in day-to-day behaviors, energy, and everything else. So number one, and I'm going to share 5. Number one, you want to begin your day with gratitude. Okay, and this may be a new concept for some. It may be a very tried and true concept for others. But it goes without saying that beginning the day, your first thought of the day, to begin it with gratitude can be a game changer. If the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning and you stop, and before you get into your whole, oh my God, I gotta get up, I gotta get ready for work, oh, I'm gonna be late, oh, I really wanna go to sleep, that dialogue, you take a few moments and just think about and say out loud a few things you're grateful for. Okay, just say out loud a few things you're grateful for. Start the day with 5, maybe 10 things that you're grateful for. You're grateful you're grateful that you woke up. Hey, that's a huge one, because you know what? Every day, millions of people do not wake up, which I bet if they could change roles with you and knowing what they know, I bet you anything that they would gladly get up and do your job if it meant they got a chance to wake up versus not being able to. Every day, there are millions of people who go to sleep and don't wake up, who would love to be able to, who would love to wake up and kiss their wife one more time, or hug their children one more time, or go to work and see their pesky, annoying coworker wave and do the goofy grin, which a lot of times seems like it might be annoying, but under these circumstances, gosh, you would love to see that again. So beginning your day with gratitude, focus on 5, maybe 10 things. You know, and you can do a lot of things to do this. Change your alarm. A lot of people use their cell phones now for alarms. Instead of it saying alarm, have it say gratitude. What are 5 things you're grateful for? Use that text. Put something prompt. Write it down on a piece of paper, so wherever your alarm is, you hit the alarm and you're actually hitting the paper, which reminds you, oh yeah, I got to be grateful. I'm going to begin with my gratitude. Okay, number 2, set a fitness goal. Set a fitness goal. And you guys, fitness goals, let me say this, fitness goals are not just for New Year's resolutions. There's a big idea in of itself. Right? Fitness goals are not just for New Year's resolutions. Fitness goals are goals that you can create anytime, anywhere, at any season, no matter what age, weight, ability level, all those things you are, you can always set a fitness goal. And the more fitness goals you set, the more you're going to have to work for, which will keep you really committed and focused in your quest. some goals you can set are a goal to lose weight. Maybe you make it a goal to lose 10, 20 pounds over the springtime. You can make a goal to run a race. Maybe it's a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon or a marathon. Maybe you make it a goal that if you're kind of a runner now, that by the end of the springtime, you've signed up to run your first half marathon or full marathon. Okay, maybe you have a goal to fit into a pair of jeans you haven't worn for 10 years. That's a great goal, right? And these are all doable goals. And what it does, by doing this and setting these goals for yourself, it really gets you engaged in a success-oriented behavior, positive success-oriented behavior. It really gets you engaged again into that realm of possibility for yourself. And, let's be real. What better time to look our best and feel our best than spring and summertime? We got beach season. We got bikini season. I'm definitely a huge fan of beach season and being swimsuit shape, and I can definitely appreciate, hey, I'm a guy, I can definitely appreciate females who make the effort to get in bikini shape as well. So with that being said, not every fitness goal has to be a bikini-based one. It can just be one that's unique to you. The important thing is that you're setting a goal for yourself and you're prioritizing your health at such a high level that you're going to set aside time daily, weekly, monthly to do some fitness stuff. There are countless studies that show the benefits of fitness, and I'm not going to name them all off for you. Just a few though: preventing of heart disease, preventive heart attack, reduce risk of stroke, cancer, diabetes, increase brain function, increase sexual drive, increase blood flow, increase stamina, increase sleep and quality of sleep. Okay, so you name it, and there's a likely chance that fitness and being active is going to help improve it and prevent it. So setting a fitness goal is huge. Okay, number three, plan something fun. Plan a big trip, plan a family picnic, plan something fun. And this is one of those ones where people will try to say, oh, I'll get to it. It is so important to have goals on the horizon, things to aim for, things on our radar that keep us going, that keep us motivated. There was a study done, and I can't remember who did the study, but what was discovered is that the most productive time in a traditional workplace is 2 weeks before vacation, because everybody's uber focused and uber on point because they want to try to get everything done before they go on vacation. So they don't have to focus on work. They can clear their mind, right? Imagine how productive you could be at things if you had something cool like that always planned on the horizon, right? Again, whether it's a family picnic, whether it's a trip, or heck, it could tie back in the number two and be a race that you're going to do. It could even be a destination race where you're going to go out of town and run a race in another state or another city. Okay, but putting something on the horizon like that, again, it gives you stuff to focus on. It keeps your mind trained to the future and what you're working towards. It gives you something to always be working towards instead of being caught in the present. A lot of times with people, when we're not happy with our present situation, we get so focused on our present situation that we forget that there's a future possibility out there. When you put things out on the horizon, when you plan out things like a trip or a picnic or time with your kids or whatever it serves as a powerful reminder that the present is not always the future, that's just the present, and that there are things out there to look forward to if you set things up for yourself to look forward to, okay? Number 4, invest in yourself. I've done videos on this. I've given talks about this before. I cannot stress how important it is for you to invest in you. And when I say invest in yourself, that can mean a lot of things. That can mean time, that can be money, that can be energy, that can be focus. Whatever modality it is up to you. The important thing is that you're utilizing resources you have, again, time, energy, money, focus, etc., to put them to work for you. Okay, you need to start learning to set yourself as a priority, putting your needs, your wants as a precedent in your life. Okay, because the more you do that for yourself, the more you're going to be able to give to others. There is the expression, and this came up in the self-love training that started this week. And it's so powerful. Somebody mentioned it when I was talking about the example of the oxygen mask, and it's perfect. Please do not secure, what do airlines say? Do not secure your oxygen mask first until you secure, or do not secure the mask of others first until you secure your own. implying that you're only going to be able to help other people at a high level if you've helped yourself first. What good are you to everybody else if you're trying to help everybody and then all of a sudden you pass out because you don't have oxygen coming to you? What good? I don't think you're going to be very effective. Just a hint. For what it's worth, I don't think you're going to be very effective. I may be wrong. And I have yet to see somebody who has a harder time breathing be effective in doing the things they want to do. So you got to take the time to invest in yourself. This is where you could sign up to do the class that you always wanted to do. You know, join a yoga studio. Look into doing a program to move forward in life. Sign up to do the online business course, whatever it is. If you have some emotional baggage, seek out somebody to work with that'll help you get rid of that once and for all. You know, pick up a book and make it a priority. Spend 30 minutes every day reading because of the value you're getting out of it. If there's some sort of ailment you've had ongoing for a long time, call the doctor and make that appointment. Don't keep putting it off. Don't keep putting it off. Don't keep putting it off. Put yourself as a priority and go out and invest in yourself. Take your time, take your money, and invest in getting it looked at and figure out what's going on so you can solve the problem and move forward. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 4 is invest in yourself. And number 5, you guys ready? Number 5, schedule time for what's most important. So you got to schedule time for what's most important. And again, this is one of those ones that sometimes it seems like it goes without saying, well, duh, Jesse, I'm going to make time for what's most important. Well, how many can say honestly that they really do that all the time? Not many. Not many of us just naturally do that. What we'll do actually is the opposite. We'll look at the things, or more specifically, often the people that are the most important to us, and we say to ourselves, they're going to love me no matter what. I'm going to get this done instead. Right? Has anybody ever said those words or something similar? I know I have. They're going to love me no matter what. They're going to forgive me. They're going to get over it. But this person is not. This has to get done. I can appreciate being a high performer, and I can appreciate wanting to get things done. With that being said, you got to make time for the core stuff in your life, the stuff that is absolutely most important, because it's not always going to be there. Right? How many people have made it a priority to do everything else but make time for the things that are most important to them, or the people that are most important to them, and then something happened? They said, next year I'll get in shape. Next year I'll get in shape. Next year I'll focus on my fitness. And then all of a sudden they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, you know what? You got diabetes. Hey, John, guess what? You know, we've been talking the last 4 years about you losing some weight. Well, because you have it now, a couple of your arteries are blocked, and we have to have surgery. Yeah, I know you're kind of stressed about things, and you didn't want to spend the $20 a month on the gym membership or whatever. And I get to where you're coming from, and the bill for open heart surgery is about $85,000 to $130,000. That was a good decision you made, John. Now, obviously, there's a little sarcasm in there, and I do it to impress upon you the other side of this about not scheduling time for what's most important. Your kids, they grow up quick, right? Your kids go quick. How many of you have had your child come up to you and say, Mommy, Daddy, can we do this? Can we do this? And you say, not now, later. Not now, later. And then suddenly, not now, later becomes a new norm. And then what happens? One day, your kid's old enough, and they just stop asking because they know you're not going to answer. You're not going to do it. And then they grow up, and you wonder why your relationship with your kids isn't what you would want it to be. Couples. Date night. Couples night. Time to communicate, whatever that is. Writing it in your schedule. And I understand it may not be the most romantic thing to write in the schedule, date night. And I can also promise you that it's probably a hell of a lot more romantic than screw you, F you, you never spend time with me, you never do this, you never do that, I hate you, I don't want to talk to you, we need to get a divorce. Let's break up. I don't know, that didn't really sound that romantic. Versus, honey, I'd love to plan a time to get together with you and hang out. Let's look at our calendars and pick a time where it's just us. Okay, I'm writing it in. Yeah, it doesn't sound quite as romantic, but you're also putting the person as a priority. You're letting them know that they're a priority. You're letting them know that relationship's a priority. And that when you guys get together and hang out, it's just going to be the two of you. That's a heck of a lot more romantic than the other part, right? So those are my 5, guys. Those are my 5 big ideas to make an awesome, amazing spring. Number one is begin day with gratitude. Wake up in the morning, you're focusing on things that you're grateful for, whether it's, waking up and just the fact that you're alive, because so many people don't wake up and they're not alive, that the job you have, the roof you have over your head, the covers you had to keep you warm, right? The fact that you have the ability to get electricity, to use this alarm clock to get you up, to go to your job or whatever it is you're doing that day. Number two, set a fitness goal. Make a goal to lose 10 pounds. Make it a goal to fit in a new pair of jeans. Make it a goal to run a race. Whatever it is, set some goals for yourself. Fitness is going to positively impact every single, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that, fitness will positively impact virtually every single aspect of your life. There have been countless studies done on peak performers, people who are extremely successful financially and other aspects of their life, and one of the common threads is they make time to exercise every day. How is it that these people who have uber busy schedules make time to exercise? Maybe they think that there's something to it. Right? Maybe they think there's something to it. Number three, plan something fun. Again, whether it's a picnic or a vacation or a fun day to the amusement park, or just a 0 day where you're going to go and do random things all day. Whatever that is, plan something fun to do it for yourself or with your friends or with your family or both. Okay, having things to look forward to on the horizon keeps us engaged, keeps us focused, keeps us working forward. Remember, not everybody's going to be stoked on their present situation. And when we're stuck and always focusing on our present situation, it's hard to see beyond that. But if you plan something fun, you give yourself something out in the future to look towards, guess what? You're going to know that the present situation is just that. It's the present situation. It doesn't mean it's the future. Number four, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Take your resources, your time, your energy, your money, your focus, your mental and emotional abilities, and put them into you. Put them into you. Sign up for a yoga class. Take the time to read a book. Work with a professional to help you get rid of your baggage. If you have an ache and pain, you're taking the time to go to a doctor or a chiropractor or whoever that is and get it looked at, get it figured out. You're not putting these things off any longer for the next day or for tomorrow, because all of us know that tomorrow comes and we put it off again. Make it a priority to get these things done, and ask yourself, how nice would it be that this spring I finally get this handled, I'm done with it, and then I'm able to live the rest of my life without ever having this be present. Ooh, now there's a big idea. There's a big idea. Wait a minute, Jesse. Wait, are you saying, let me just get this clear. Are you saying that if I take some time now, and I'm 30, 40, 50 years old, I take some time now, and I spend a week, a couple months of my time now dealing with this, investing in myself, that I could live the rest of my life without it? Wait a minute, Jesse. Are you saying, now let me get this straight. I could take a week, a couple months, whatever. Let's just say it's 2-3 months. All of spring. What is spring? 3 months? Let's say it's 3 months. You're saying I could take 3 months of my life, and I'm 30, 40, 50 years old, and the average life expectancy is 75, 80. So let's say, for easy math, say I just have 20 more years. So you're saying I could take 3 months now. And if I take the 3 months now, I'm going to be able to live 240 more months without this? So wait, hang on, Jesse. Let me just make sure I'm getting this clear. So what you're saying to me is, if I invest 1/80th of my time now, I get to enjoy 79/80ths, but never having to deal with this again? Wait a minute, or is this some sort of trick? Okay, let's just think about it like that, you guys. The time you take now, if you make the decision to invest in yourself now, put yourself as a priority. Imagine that. You take the small amount of your time on the scale of your life, you take care of what needs to be taken care of, and then you have the rest of your life to live without it. And then more importantly, you've learned a habit to make yourself a priority so that you're always able to prioritize what needs to be prioritized going on you. So your oxygen mask is always secured, which means you're always going to be more effective at helping other people. Number 5, schedule time for what's most important. You got to put it on a calendar. You got to write it down, put it in writing, all these things. A funny side note, I really enjoy professional wrestling. I'm not an obsessive fan or anything like that. I try to watch it when I can. Most of the time I get to watch 2 or 3 shows a year, and then I'll watch the clips in the morning on Tuesday so I can see what happened the night before. I have some friends that I invited over to watch WrestleMania, which is the Sunday. That's like the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. They didn't put it in their calendar. And guess what? They double booked, and they're going to miss out on WrestleMania. Now, there's this big joke about, oh, we missed out on WrestleMania, blah, blah. But it's a perfect example of things because before that, they've been really looking forward to it. And what they're looking forward to was not so much WrestleMania, but it was just a time for us to all hang out. But because they didn't schedule it down, they're not going to get to do it, and they're doing something else instead. So you got to make scheduled time, your gym time, what days, what time you're working out, times with your family, times with your kids. Put it in your calendar, make it a priority. Because if you do those things now and you really schedule time for what's most important, that's going to fill you up. It's going to really fill you up, and it's going to give you a lot more energy and a lot more tenacity to tackle the things in your life that may not be so important, but you need to get them done so that you have the resources and the ability to focus on what is most important. Okay, guys, those are my 5 big ideas for an awesome spring. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys found this of value, and I will open it up to questions. Questions. Who's got some questions? And I'm going to stand here with an awkward silence, just waiting for that moment where the delay catches up and you guys are ready to ask me questions. Oh, I finished. I'm drinking my water. So your questions should commence typing now. Oh, the fun of technology. Questions, or you can put comments too. Questions and comments and questions, feedback, whatever you feel like is pertinent. You guys remember, your questions do not have to specifically pertain to the video. If there's something else on your mind, we can definitely do that. We've had some amazing conversations before in this Q&A that were not necessarily related to the video. And people have said they've gotten more value out of the Q&A than they got out of what I had to say before, which I think is awesome. I started this about 5 years ago. Every morning when I wake up and I get out of bed, as my right foot touches the ground, I say, thank you. And left foot, you. Oh, I say, wait, let me start over. I started this about 5 years ago. Every morning when I wake up and I get out of bed, as my right foot touches the ground, I say thank, and left foot, you. It does start my morning off right. Once I've invested more in myself than I thought possible, and it has been life-changing. I used to focus most of my time with work and any leftover time on other things. I was unhappy then because I wasn't taking time for me as much. I'm much happier now and on the right track to succeeding in life. Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. And what a powerful practice that is, to just do something as simple as one foot touches thank, the other foot touches you. And to have literally your first conscious thought of the day, the first words out of your mouth, thank you. Rather than beep, 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 oh shit, I gotta get up. Okay, what standard does that set for the rest of the day? Versus starting with thank you. Awesome. How do you create a balance with working out and not overdoing it? I try to run every day and do other workouts too, and I feel guilty if I miss a day. Is it okay to take rest days too? Yeah, absolutely. It's okay, and it's actually beneficial to your body to do so. If you're working out at a really high level, your body has to have a rest day. I will generally try to have at least one day a week where I'm doing nothing, maybe some walking, but no lifting, no intense cardio. There'll be some times where I'll just have a day where I won't have a complete rest day, but I'll only do cardio and no weights. And there'll be some days where I have weights and no cardio. So you really got to tune in your body and just see. I think the great thing about strength training is you can train your body, work certain muscle groups, and while they're resting, you can work other ones. That's what I do, and it's great. So when I go into the gym and my chest and my biceps are sore, I'm not going to work them out, but it gives me a chance to work my legs and my back and my hip muscles and so on and so forth. So yeah, you want to listen to your body, and it's not only is it okay to take rest days, it's actually beneficial. How do I learn to live with a jealous friend? She was my best friend for 20 years and said she's very jealous of me. That really hurts. So there's a couple things you could do. You can, one, thank her for her jealousy and just say, wow, I'm really honored that I've done so well with my life that you would be jealous of it. And you've been my best friend for a really long time, and so I'd love to get you to a place where you're not feeling jealous. Because obviously, what jealousy is it's kind of envious, right? We're jealous of a lifestyle. We see people doing things that we wish we could do, and we're not doing, and so we convey jealousy. It feels like losing a sister. Just don't know how to follow my heart. I think how you address her, how you communicate with her is important. Her telling you is jealous is just words. You're the one that's putting the meaning behind the words. You're the one that's choosing to have it be an negatively emotional experience. It could be a really positive one. Your friend could be asking for help, but she doesn't know how to say it, so she comes across as being jealous. And she's jealous because her life's not where she wants it to be. You can also look at your friendship and evaluate it and say, this has been a great ride, and I just don't want to be around this kind of energy. I'm so grateful for the life lessons and everything we've learned. And you've changed a lot. I've changed a lot, and we're not the same people that we once were. We're not the same people we once were. We're not having the same level of friendships we had before. So you have to evaluate those things for yourself and decide what that is. No matter what you decide, it's your decision to be hurt by her saying she's jealous. Because jealousy can really be a compliment. Let's look at a lot of people who are celebrities and sports stars. A lot of people will say that they're jealous of the lifestyle they have. And if you're that person, that might be quite the compliment, because you've worked hard enough or you've done certain things to get to a point to have a lifestyle that people are jealous of. So for a lot of people, that can be motivation. Wow, this person is jealous of me. Well, it just makes me want to work even harder. I want to see how many more people I can get jealous of me. Maybe that'll inspire them. Maybe that'll give them the light of fire under their ass. Okay, so remember that. You're the one that decides the meaning you put behind words. Their words are their words. How you choose to interpret their words is up to you. Good question. What else you guys got? Anything else? Questions? Yes, no, maybe so. How do you help a friend who has said that if it wasn't for their son, they wouldn't be here? They have mentioned suicide twice. So this is a tough question to answer without knowing the specifics, because when somebody's ready to go to that extreme of a statement, when they're ready to make basically the finality statement, there is a lot of stuff that goes into it. Some people use that as the proverbial cry for help. They have no intention of really doing it. They just like the reaction they get from people for it, because they get all this attention and awareness, and that's really what they want. And they want attention. They want love. They want connection. And for them, that's a way they'll use to get that. For some people, they are serious about it because they have gotten to the point where they've just convinced themselves that that's really the reality. The fact that your friend is using a contingency scenario with it, if her son wasn't here, tends to lead me to believe that that's not something she's thought of. She's just really bummed, and she's not looking within herself for the resources. She's far too committed right now to be sad. She's so committed to being sad that that's just what she's getting. And she hasn't shifted her commitment to be anything else. So how do you help somebody like that? At the end of the day, everybody has to help themselves. And if you're a close friend, I think one of the biggest influences you can have is being a shining light around her. Always letting her see you in your most happy, empowered, strong state. Get her to ask questions about what you've done to get to that place. That's really powerful because it lets them, you're not telling them the answers, they're able to put two and two together themselves. Don't engage in conversations that are going to go down that path. Turn them around. If there is the woe is me conversation starts, you can acknowledge it and then change it to something else, or paint a different picture, help them paint a different picture. Because what happens with most of these people is they have a behavior pattern they go through to get to that point where they feel like they're just at the ultimate end, that they just can't take it anymore. And so a lot of what leads to that is how they interact with other people, who they're talking to, and their response, which helps them trigger it. So if you can change yourself around her energetically, you change your responses, you might be able to start to see some changes and shifts with her. And then if you don't feel comfortable with that, if you don't feel like you can, I encourage, talk to her about reaching out to somebody. Talk to her about reaching out to somebody, send her some of my stuff, maybe send her my blog that I talked about suicide with, and just so she can see what that's really like. A lot of times people will talk about that and they don't really know what that means or how that affects other people. And when they do, kind of makes them stop and go, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have used that word. What else you guys got? Questions? And I apologize if I seem more shifty than normal. It is warm here, very warm. So I have a little fan going, and I keep trying to move to cool off the part I'm cooling myself off. At one point, I'll feel a little cooler on one side, so I shift to try to get to cool off on the other side. What are you going to do that is going to make your spring amazing, Jesse? Any special trips or fun things you got planned that you want to share with us? I'm going to just keep living my life the way I am. I'm going to keep living my life the way I am. I'm going to keep doing the things that I do. One of the things that makes my life amazing is doing stuff like that and helping people. And that's really what that adds the most value and substance to my life. So I'm going to hopefully do a lot of that and more of that. I'm definitely going to focus on fitness goals. I'm going to continue to do gratitude every day. I invest in myself. I'm going to schedule time for what's most important, and I am going to plan fun things. I'm definitely going to try to do even more of these things that I've done in the past, and I'm definitely going to implement each of these things on a level that I am currently and on a higher level too. What else, guys? You guys want to maybe ask 3 more questions? You're a little quiet tonight. It's really funny. Sometimes we have very talkative groups, and sometimes we have a little shyer, not so talkative groups. I think the Sunday morning group tends to be more, and it's funny because a lot of times people don't want to do Sundays, but sometimes it seems the Sunday morning crowd is a little bit more chatty than the midweek crowd. Any updates on your live event that's set for October? So the dates I gave, October 9th and 10th, thank you for reminding me because I was going to mention that. October 9th and 10th are going to for sure be the dates. I will start posting. I'm working on trying to get some preliminary information out by middle of next month. And But yeah, it's going to for sure be those days. And it will, I'm not quite sure what the times will be on both days, but it'll be a full day. Both days will be full days. Both days will be full days. I've been working on, I've already started training and working out my vocal cords so that I can talk for long periods of time, 2 days in a row. Right now I'm pretty good for half days. I haven't done more than a half day presentation yet, so this will be fun for me because it'll be my first time doing 2 full day presentations. And I'm also really working on putting together some amazing content and experiences for all of you who attend. So again, those dates in October are for sure the dates. October, I think I said October, Friday, October 9th, and Saturday, October 10th. I scheduled that because that's what's important to me. And it'll be in Santa Barbara. And I think that's what I got so far. Any other specifics? I mean, is there some specifics that you were curious about with it? Did you get to meet Hulk Hogan? I did not. The Hulkster he was about, I would say, 8 inches to a foot away from me several different times. And that was more than enough. I was in his presence. I got to do the Hulk up when he was hulking up, which is what I'd always wanted to do. I got to jump up and down and scream with the fans. It's funny. Last time, I was trying to remember if I've been to wrestling. This was my 3rd time there or my 4th time there. And anyways, I know one of the last times I had gone, which was, gosh, it's had to have been, I would say at least, I want to say it's been over 7 years, maybe 8 years since I went last. And last time I went, there was this wrestler at the time who was copying, his gimmick was he would copy all the other wrestlers. And so every now and then he'd come out to different wrestlers, theme songs, music, and he'd dress up. And so the time I was there, all of a sudden the Hulk Hogan music hit. And then at the time there was people talking in the outside. There was a rumor that Hogan was there. And my friend who I am with, we were huge Hulkamaniacs. We were ready to Hulk up, and Hulk Hogan's music hit, and we were going nuts. And then it turned out it was this guy who was faking it. And it was so heartbreaking. I thought it was so close. I was, oh my gosh, this is what I've been waiting for so long. And the other night when it was going on, they had Snoop Dogg come out and do his thing. And I was thinking, oh man, if Hogan's going to be here, it's going to have to be during this. There's no reason for him to be here other than some other wrestler come down, talk some smack to him, and if that does, Hogan's got to come out and save him. Well, the guy who came out just happened to be this guy who's been kind of doing a Hogan gimmick for the last few months. And I was like, oh man, if Hogan's coming, this is going to be the time. And then Snoop starts to say, you're talking about this mania and that mania and whatever mania. And I'm, oh my God, he's going to cue Hogan. And he's all, there's one mania you've forgotten, and it's the most important mania in all. And I was just, I'm even getting goosebumps right now. This is how much of a nerd I am. And there's the most important mania, and I'm, oh my God, this is going to happen. And then you hear Hogan's music hit, and then the crowd just blows up. I mean, it was the most amazing energy shift I've ever seen, because people were, a lot of them were the same as me. They were kids, and they'd grown up watching Hulk Hogan, and now here we are, all big kids, wanting to see this guy who we all looked up to for so long. And there he was. So yeah, it was very, very awesome, very special. I could tell a million stories about wrestling, and yeah, that was one of the things that I had invested in myself, and one of the fun things I'd planned, and scheduling time for what's the most important, because that was definitely a goal, a dream I'd had for a very long time. And to experience it in full reality like that was just everything I'd hoped for. Everything I hoped for. I wouldn't change one thing about it. And you guys, that's a really interesting point too. I almost didn't do it. Because I was like, oh, do I really want to take that much time? I'm pretty busy. I'm just going to keep getting back. I almost dropped my water. I'm just getting back from traveling. I should really spend some more time with work. Do I want to spend the money? I went back and forth with all these things, okay? And even though doing that, it fit into everything I wanted to do. It's a huge thing of gratitude for me. There's all sorts of gratitude I can attach to it, and I have attached to it. There is planning something fun, right? Investing in myself, scheduling time for what's most important. That's been one of my childhood dreams, and I almost didn't schedule it because I'm getting in my head, I'm listening to the voices. when I left there, I was telling myself that if I would have heard about that show, if I would have seen the highlights on TV, if I would have watched it on the internet, and I would have known that I had the opportunity to go and experience it the way I did, and I chose not to because I listened to all those voices, I would have been so pissed off with myself. So pissed off. I would have been furious with myself because all the stuff I've been talking to you guys about, I would have let it slide, and then I would have been left in that shoulda, woulda, coulda frame of mind, which anybody who's been there knows it's just not a fun place. And I almost did because I almost listened to these voices. So you guys, I promise you, if you ignore those voices, listen to your gut, listen to your heart, apply these things we talked about earlier, you're going to set yourselves up for some amazing, amazing experiences. When I'm trying to plan a trip to America the next few years, do you have some ideas for the most beautiful places? Love the nature. I want to see the redwood for sure. You know, any of the national parks you go to, you're not going to go wrong. I'm a huge national park person, huge national park fan. Depending on what time of year you go, you can do some awesome road trips. There are some amazingly beautiful places in the States. There are some absolutely amazingly beautiful places. And you time it right, you can go to these places often where they're not too crowded. I've been to national parks where it's literally me and a dozen other people that I'll see all day, if that. And it's just, wow, I'm in this place that's one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I'm the only one here. So there are some awesome places. You look up the U.S. national parks, you can't go wrong. What else? You guys got any other questions? While you guys are doing that, let me just give you a couple updates. The Flat Belly Challenge. I'm going to do another Flat Belly Challenge. It's going to begin, I think mid-April is what I have for a scheduled date. I'll send a notice out about it on, I think next week. I'll send a couple notices on Facebook and email out about it. And I think we're going to start right around mid-April, and it'll run mid-April to beginning of May. Great contest, great challenge, a wonderful way to focus on losing some weight, win some cool prizes, meet some awesome people. I encourage any of you who have any sort of fitness goal to look into it. As was asked earlier, my first ever live event is going to be in October. I believe the dates are Friday, October 9th, Saturday, October 10th, here in Santa Barbara. A lot of you have commented on photos of Santa Barbara I've shared. The location is going to be absolutely awesome. You guys will have time to come and hang out in Santa Barbara. If you enjoy listening to me speak, you enjoy listening to me teach, you're going to get a hell of a lot of it there because it's going to be all hands-on. I'm going to have some amazing experiences for you all. I'm going to give you some really powerful tools and strategies to hopefully help you blow the lid off of how the life you want to live. And again, I think it's going to be a wonderful way to meet some people and foster lifelong friendships. The self-love training began on Tuesday. We have a great group doing that. If anybody still wants to jump in on it, send me an email. You can definitely still do that. I can send you the video from this week, get you caught up, and we're going to be meeting every Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. Pacific time through the next 6 weeks or so. And it seemed like there was one other thing I wanted to tell you guys, but I've forgotten it right now because I didn't write it down. So I think that's it. I loved your wrestling story. Oh man, I should just do a whole video on wrestling sometime and how wrestling could be the greatest fountain of youth ever. You know what's funny is on YouTube, looking at you guys posting comments on YouTube, underneath it has my suggested videos. And I would say about half the suggested videos on there for wrestling. Just goes to show what I watch in my downtime. Okay, guys, awesome stuff. Thank you so much, everybody.